Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, September 23rd. We have all you need to know about the gender pay gap allegations facing Penn State, as well as updates on a bomb threat at a local elementary school.
We also have more information on the House bill passed to increase protection for presidential candidates, along with entertainment, sports, and interviews. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us tonight for PSN News. I'm Emma Goldkoff.
And I'm Jordan Spagnoli. Penn State pays over $700,000 to resolve allegations of gender pay discrimination. 65 female employees were allegedly paid less than their male counterparts in similar positions. These actions violate Executive Order 11246, which prohibits employment discrimination by federal contractors. The money is being paid in back wages and interest in a consolidation agreement with the U.S. Department of Labor. Following this incident, the university has agreed to review and adjust its compensation policies to prevent future discrimination.
Penn State's newspaper, the Daily Collegian, was removed from stands last Wednesday by the university without notice. 3 of the 35 racks around campus were running a Kamala Harris ad, and 6 had voter registration ads above the racks. A source says the university is alleging the advertisements violated advertising rules. The racks were returned on Friday morning after normal distribution hours and without the latest edition of the Collegian.
A state appeals court upheld a lower court's ruling rejecting Jerry Sandusky's request for a new trial. The Pennsylvania Superior Court agreed that the former Penn State football assistant coach did not prove that the evidence would likely result in a different verdict from his original conviction. Sandusky's attorneys sought a new trial based on after-discovered evidence they claim shows witnesses were subject to repressed memory therapy and suggestive interview techniques that elicit false memories of abuse. The Superior Court also upheld the ruling that Sandusky must pay over $44,000 for the cost of prosecution.
Bellefonte Elementary School received a bomb threat call on Friday that was deemed not credible after an investigation. The threat was made in a voicemail on the school's attendance line. All students and staff were sent home as a precaution shortly before normal dismissal time. Email threats were sent to districts throughout Blair County on Wednesday, which state police believe to be similar swatting calls. None of the threats have posed any harm to students or faculty.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Jenna Wisman with your sports update. Beaver Stadium was the place to be on Saturday. Number 9 ranked Penn State defeated Kent State in a shutout win by a score of 56-0. The game started out slow, but the Nittany Lions were able to get the ball rolling in the second quarter and from then on, dominated. Penn State's defense was able to hold Kent State's offense to just 66 yards. Quarterback Drew Aller completed 17 of 21 passes for 309 yards and 3 touchdowns. We also saw a lot of tight end Tyler Warren, who scored a rushing and receiving touchdown. The Nittany Lions now move to 3-0 on the season and will welcome their toughest opponent yet, undefeated number 19 ranked Illinois, to Happy Valley on Saturday night. It was an exciting weekend for Penn State field hockey as well. The number 20 ranked Nittany Lions picked up an overtime win at Bucknell on Saturday by a score of 2-1. The Bison led by a score of 1-0 for most of the game with help from teammate Lily Nielsen. However, senior Fia Gladio was the spark for Penn State, scoring both goals, one of them being in the 4th period and then the game winner in overtime. Nittany Lion goalie Abby DeVerca tallied 6 saves, and defender Jerry Schnars had a great defensive save. Penn State moves to 4-3 on the season, while Bucknell falls to 3-5. The Nittany Lions open up Big Ten Conference play on Friday, where they will host Indiana at 4 p.m. The Philadelphia Eagles took home a much-needed victory on Sunday at Caesars Superdome against the previously undefeated New Orleans Saints. The Eagles won by a tight score of 15-12 despite poor play calling and injuries. The Eagles headed into the game looking to bounce back from a tough loss against Atlanta last week. Tight end Dallas Goedert stepped up when Devontae Smith went down and had the game of his life. Goedert recorded 10 receptions for 170 yards, including the play of the game. Running back Saquon Barkley also had himself a game, scoring 2 touchdowns, one of them being a 65-yard run. Now the Eagles move to 2-1 on the season and will look to their next test against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday. That's all from sports. Coming up.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Jaden Vogel with your entertainment update. Penn State Homecoming Week is finally here. From September 22nd to the 28th, students and alumni will come together for a week of celebration. Enjoy pep rallies, live performances, and fun student competitions all week long. On Friday, don't miss the homecoming parade featuring floats, marching bands, and plenty of Penn State pride. Then get ready for a big football game against Illinois on Saturday. Also happening on Penn State campus is a celebration for National Hispanic Heritage Month, where they are hosting a variety of events to honor it. From September 15th to October 15th, students and community members can enjoy film screenings, dance performances, and cultural workshops. Look for events like Latin Night featuring live music and dancing, as well as art exhibits showcasing Hispanic artists. Join in to celebrate diversity and learn more about Hispanic culture through fun and engaging activities. Last Tuesday, Dancing with the Stars kicked off its exciting new season. The cast has a variety of celebrities from singers to reality stars. Even Penn State alumni and Olympian Steven Nedorozic is in the spotlight. The former Nittany Lions gymnast wowed the audience with his incredible dance skills and charm on the dance floor. With high energy and glitzy performances, the Stars team up with professional dancers to compete for the Mirror Ball Trophy. Tune in every Tuesday to see who ends up on top. And that's all for your entertainment update. Next up, interview anchor Christian Audia will be sitting down with Fletcher Port, the Speaker of the Assembly for UPUA.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Christian Audia, and with me tonight is Fletcher Port, the Speaker of the Assembly for UPUA. How are you doing tonight, Fletcher?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm excited to be here, Christian.
Good. I'm glad. So let's get it rolling. So first, tell me, what is UPUA, and what does UPUA do for Penn State?
It's a great question, and as a student government, it's one of the ones we get asked the most. We are the University Park Undergraduate Association. It's a long way of saying that we represent the undergraduate students here at Penn State, and we are the leading effort to advocate for student voices here on campus.
Perfect. And how can someone get involved in UPUA if they would like?
This is the right time to be asking that question. This coming Wednesday, we're actually going to have an application open up, so that way any prospective member that wanted to join the org will have an easy way to do so. They'll go ahead and fill out that application, and then we'll be able to review those applications and hopefully welcome in some new members. That'll open this Wednesday night and be open for 2 weeks, and they can find more on upua.org.
Perfect. So what is your role in UPUA, being the Speaker of the Assembly?
As the Speaker of the Assembly, much like our regular United States government, I tend to oversee the legislative operations. And within our legislative branch, that means working to connect our committee members to work with all the different Penn State administration. That also includes keeping things organized week in and week out and making sure that we keep our ball rolling. As the Speaker of the Assembly, I get to have a really unique role where I'm working day in and day out with my committee members and my chairs, but then also work with the executive branch and make sure that we realize the promises that they brought about when they were campaigning just a couple months ago.
Perfect. That sounds like so much fun. And how has UPUA, especially being the Speaker of the Assembly, really shaped your Penn State experience?
It's been incredible. For the first couple months here at Penn State, I was trying to look around, right, as most Penn Staters do. Find that org that you felt like you went to and were excited to go to every single night. And for me, I found the UPUA and I ran with it. I'd done student government my whole life, but to do it here is just different. When you're thinking about representing thousands of students, you're now talking about something that's bigger than yourself. And so you're going to these meetings where you're talking about things that you'll never see, and you'll be talking about support mechanisms that aren't for you, but you feel so rewarded in that work that you do. And then then you hear the stories and the personal connections about how the initiatives that you worked on improved other people's lives, it makes you want to work twice as hard on the next one. It's really been an incredible job, and I've been so fortunate to find that there's a group of people out there within the UPUA that, enjoy getting to connect with me every single week. I truly think that no matter who you are, no matter what background you come from, the UPUA has a place for you. I'm a mechanical engineering major doing student government work. We have people from every single academic college doing student government work. It's no doubt in my mind that there's a spot for you.
That's so awesome. It gives that UPUA gives a very much a sense of community to Penn State students, as well as students who have a passion for government and politics. But for you personally, how did you get involved in UPUA? I know you mentioned previously how other prospective members can get involved, but how did you stumble about UPUA?
Like I said, I did student government my whole life, and I came to Penn State and I was like, you know what? New school, new me. I'm going to try and, diverge away and start to do some more engineering-based stuff. And then I found myself, again, coming back to that, well, hang on, I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the connections. And so I think what I found is a couple months went by, and I was like, they've got an opening, much like the same one that we have right now. So to anybody that's out there right now thinking, I just haven't found it yet, but I'm looking for those people that maybe I could get along with, I definitely think, it's worth going after, because that story, that's a common one. It's the one that I have, and it's the one that I know a lot of other people share.
Great. And for you being the Speaker of the Assembly, what is your biggest goal for UPUA before graduating?
Fortunately, like I talked about it, I've got an incredible team underneath me whose my job is to work with. And this year, we have a unique team in that all 5 of our committees that are within the legislative branch are led by sophomores. And typically, those are roles filled by juniors and seniors. And I'm very big. I've always been big on not just doing things the way we've always done them, always furthering how can we do something better. And when you have 5 people that have never done something one way before, well, that's where you start to see these innovative ideas come about. So my big priority this year, and it's, I think, unique to the people that we have, is to be uplifting them in every chance we can, to always investigate the way that we've always done things and reevaluate if maybe there's a better way to do it.
That sounds so great and so very inspirational. So what have you learned from being the Speaker of the Assembly for UPUA that you hope to use later in your professional career?
I've learned so many things. I think the favorite one, the one that I'll always go back to, is what it means to be a part of something that is bigger than just myself. And there's many phrases that I throw out all the time to try and encompass that feeling of being in the UPUA. I think the one that I come back to the most is that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And so to advocate for 40,000 people, well, you can't do that just by having a bunch of different people come together every week and, try and bring their perspective to the table. It takes continuous work and effort to combine all those voices into one and bring that up to the highest level possible. And what I've seen time and time again is that when we're successful in investing and bringing people together, we can do just incredible things.
Perfect. Well, Fletcher, thank you so much for your time and sharing your experiences with UPUA.
Thank you so much for having me.
Coming up, Jordan and Emma will bring you the latest news from across the nation.
A rural Kentucky judge was shot and killed in his courthouse chambers, with the local sheriff being charged with his murder. The preliminary investigation indicates Letcher County Sheriff Sean M. Steins shot District Judge Kevin Mullins multiple times following an argument inside the courthouse. Kentucky State Police says Mullins, who held judgeship for 15 years, died at the scene, and Steins surrendered without incident. The shooting sent shockwaves through the community, with lead county prosecutor Matt Butler saying there was an outpour of sympathy. Steins was charged with 1 count of first-degree murder, and the police are still investigating.
The owner of the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant plans to reopen its 1 remaining reactor and help tech giant Microsoft supply its data centers with carbon-free energy. Policymakers hope this plan will reduce the effects of climate change, increase electric power supply, and meet the rising demand of power by data centers. Buying this power will help Microsoft become carbon negative by 2030. Constellation Energy says it hopes to bring the Unit 1 reactor online in 2028.
The House unanimously approved a bill that would increase Secret Service protection for major presidential and vice presidential candidates. This decision follows the second attempt on former President Donald Trump's life in 2 months. The legislation will require the Secret Service Director to apply the same standards to protect the President, Vice President, and major presidential and VP candidates. The final vote to pass legislation in the House was 405 to 0, but still needs to pass the Senate.
The FBI and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service have been investigating suspicious packages that are being sent to election offices. Since early voting has begun, more than 15 states have received packages, some containing unknown substances. The FBI is collecting the packages and has assured the public that safety is their top priority. No reports of injuries or packages containing hazardous material have been made. Now that concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.